Hey there. So first, whoa, there's a lot going on. I'm recording this on January 30th, and I'm not going to try to summarize what the Trump administration has been doing so far in healthcare, because by the time you hear this, I have no idea what else might have happened. Oh boy. We will definitely have a lot to talk about as this year goes on. And in the meantime, all the things we've been talking about on this show, they are still happening. So, we've got a project cooking, and I need your help with it. It's about how freaking much we pay for medicine and what we can maybe do about it. This problem is something that hits a lot of us. A big recent survey asked, have you skipped a medication in the last year because of cost? And a quarter of people answered yes. And we know a ton of people spend all kinds of time and energy trying to make sure they don't have to go without meds they can't afford or go broke paying for them. Looking for coupons, haggling endlessly with insurance, ordering drugs from online pharmacies, even pharmacies in other countries. And in some cases, undertaking all kinds of epic adventures. One of the very first episodes of this show was about Laura Derrick of Austin, Texas, and how she turned her life upside down in 2011. She had just started a new drug, a drug that may have saved her life. And then, almost immediately, two things happened. Thing one, Laura found out what that drug cost.
It was a little over $55,000.
And this is for like a month's supply?
A month's supply.
And how much was your share of that?
My share was about $20.
And then thing two, her husband was diagnosed with cancer, late stage cancer. He needed intensive treatment, which meant he couldn't work, which meant he was about to lose his insurance. And this was before the Affordable Care Act was implemented. If you had a pre-existing condition and you didn't get insurance from your job, you basically couldn't buy insurance. So, Laura Derrick needed a job with good insurance. And she knew people who were eager to hire her. But there was a catch.
My daughter's last year of high school, my son's last year of college, I left our family with my husband in cancer treatment because the only job they could offer was in Ohio. And it offered us an insurance policy with a zero deductible that cost $20 a month for the whole family and covered everything we needed. But it meant I had to be gone for almost a year and a half.
That job, by the way, was with Barack Obama's 2012 re-election campaign. Laura was determined to win so the ACA could get implemented, so that people, including her and her family, could get insurance without going quite as far as she did. But to say the least, having insurance does not mean having no problems. For some people, getting their meds, it may not mean taking a job far away from family, but fighting with insurance can become a very frustrating part-time job of its own. When I talked with Lillian Karabayak in 2022, she was grinding away, trying to avoid a crushing bill for Enbrel. That's an expensive rheumatoid arthritis drug she'd been taking for years. Now, Lillian is a financial journalist who teaches financial self-help to millennials. So, as you can imagine, she's very organized. And as we talked about the adventure she was on at that point, she pulled up the time tracking software she uses.
Okay, so it has been 9 hours and 32 minutes in the past 2 weeks that I have spent on healthcare admin, which is mostly being on phone calls.
What kicked off all those phone calls had been a rude awakening, literally, from her phone.
I just got all of a sudden a text message from my specialty pharmacy saying that I have a $3,000 copay, right? Like that's not a text message that anybody wants to wake up to.
And when we talked, 2 weeks and almost 10 hours of phone calls after that text message, Lillian was giving up on getting out of that $3,000 copay. She was getting to work on figuring out how to pay it.
But I'm kind of delaying the inevitable, at least long enough to apply for a credit card that has a decent points sign-up bonus, so at least I can get something out of this entire situation.
So yeah, we know how tough this can be, has been, is. And I have a feeling you may know a bit about this too. Like, you may not have gotten a text message saying you owe $3,000, but you definitely may have been in the situation of asking, holy crap, I'm supposed to pay this much for my meds? What? And this much? I mean, it could be thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars. I mean, or $60. I mean, if it's a lot to you, it's a lot. And that's why I want your help. If you've been in that situation, what have you done? And what did you learn? Maybe you learned a strategy that actually worked for you. Maybe it was, man, I learned about a new way I'm getting screwed. However things went, however they're going, what did you learn that you want other people to know? It doesn't have to be something big, deep, and secret, just something you'd tell a friend about if they asked. But I'm pretty sure there are strategies not enough people know about. And I'm also pretty sure there's new ways we're getting beat up. And the more we learn about those, the more we can work together to maybe do something about them. So I'm asking you to share all that with me. And by the way, I know that you may not be doing this for yourself, for your own meds. You may be doing this for a family member. Maybe you're a healthcare worker trying to help a patient or patients or an advocate or social worker. You've been working on this? You've been learning something the rest of us should know about? I want to hear about it. I'd love it if you head over to armandalegshow.com/drugs and tell me about it. You can keep it brief or go long. That's armandalegshow.com/drugs. And we'll have a link wherever you're finding this. You can just click that. If you haven't been on an adventure like this, well, one, good. I would actually love to hear about that too. I do not mind hearing good news about good people. Not everything has to be a nightmare. And I would love it if you passed this request around, because probably somebody you know has a story we should hear about. Please encourage them to bring that story right here. A story with a lesson or a question like, can I freaking do that? Is there anything I can do about it? Is there anything somebody can do about that? Over the next month or two, we'll dig into everything you bring us. We may call you for more details, and we'll call some experts to get answers to some of your questions. And then this spring, we're going to start sharing what we learn. The place to bring it is armandalegshow.com/drugs. We'll have a link wherever you're listening, along with a link to some resources you might find helpful. Thank you so much. Meanwhile, I'll catch you in a few weeks with a new episode. Till then, take care of yourself. This is An Arm and a Leg, a show about why healthcare costs so freaking much and what we can maybe do about it. An Arm and a Leg is produced by me, Dan Weissman, with help from Emily Pizzacreta and Claire Davenport, and edited by Ellen Weiss. Adam Raymunda is our audio wizard. Our music is by Dave Weiner and Blue Dot Sessions. B. Bosco is our consulting director of operations. Lynn Johnson is our operations manager. An Arm and a Leg is produced in partnership with KFF Health News. That's a national newsroom producing in-depth journalism about health issues in America and a core program at KFF, an independent source of health policy research, polling, and journalism. Zach Dyer is senior audio producer at KFF Health News. He is editorial liaison to this show. We are distributed by KUOW, Seattle's NPR news station. And thanks to the Institute for Nonprofit News for serving as our fiscal sponsor. They allow us to accept tax-exempt donations. You can learn more about INN at inn.org. Finally, thank you to everybody who supports this show financially. You can join in anytime at armandalegshow.com/support. Thank you so much. And thanks for listening.